NASCAR is about history and tradition. While the cars change, drivers come and go, and tracks fade away, there's always been Charlotte in May, where fans gather to celebrate our sport and remember our sacrifices. From humble beginnings to 140,000, one of NASCAR's crown jewels. On Memorial Day weekend, as light turns to dark, memories are made. Great racing, great moments. 600 miles, 400 laps, 50 years. Countless memories. NASCAR Race Day is next on Speed.
The Charlotte area of North Carolina is home to 80% of NASCAR teams. Therefore, it's known as the world epicenter of stock car racing. And in the center of it all sits the Lowe's Motor Speedway, home to tonight's 50th running of NASCAR's longest race, the Coke 600. It's an annual Memorial Day celebration as we salute the American military men and women who guarantee our freedom. A five-time winner at this track, points leader Jeff Gordon is just one of many favorites to win tonight's marathon. But at last week's All-Star event, it was Tony Stewart with $1 million victory. And he has all the momentum on his side. It's a one-of-a-kind race in a one-of-a-kind place, the Coke 600 at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Coke 600 version of NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. I'm John Roberts, alongside of Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer, and driver the number 28 Border Patrol Chevrolet, Kenny Wallace.
Thank you.
And boy, what a weekend we have. Not only is it Memorial Day, we're in the world center of stock car racing, and we're saluting our troops.
Well, you said it right, Johnny, saluting our troops. I love being here at Charlotte. The Coca-Cola 600 Memorial Day weekend, you can't get no better. But you know what? Last 13 races, either a Chevrolet or a Dodge has won. Ford hasn't won since 2002, and a Toyota's never won. What's going to happen tonight? Surely last Saturday night, no one expected the Smoke to win. Kenny, 600 miles, I can't wait.
Oh, 600 miles, baby. Let me tell you something. Look at me, I'm shaking. I'm getting like Spencer. Spencer always does this. For all of you, eating the bratwurst, all of you up there in Milwaukee.
You know it,
your
baby.
beer. Let me tell you, it's about man and machine. You have to have pythons like me. See? Oh, yeah. Because it's 600 miles. Spencer's laughing.
He's a wacko.
You have to be physically fit. Not just the driver, but the car, too. Spencer, we got down to the end here last year, and we said Tony Stewart's going to win it. Right front tire goes away. So the point of the matter is, look, 600 miles, I don't care. Tony Stewart lost this race in the last 20 miles. Stay tuned, it's a long race, but baby, it's about man and the machine.
Anything can and will happen in NASCAR's longest race, 600 miles. It starts in the day and ventures into the night. For more, let's now go inside the Shell Garage for our report with Wendy Venturini. And Wendy, you know what? There's a certain amount of bragging rights that goes on after this race is all said and done.
There definitely is. It's because we're home in Charlotte, North Carolina, Concord. This is home to a majority of the drivers and the crew members in the garage area. What does that mean? It's our second weekend at home. Many of us got to sleep in our own beds, and that is priceless, I'll tell you. But the interesting part, we're used to seeing the drivers and their family members at the racetrack. Well, what is this week? A little bit different because the crew members get to bring their family members to the racetrack this weekend. We see the wives and the significant others, the children walking through the garage for little walkthroughs that we don't normally see. Now, Now, what does that translate to on the racetrack today? Well, a lot of the guys here today are a lot more relaxed, a relaxed atmosphere. They're well rested. Keep in mind, it's a 600-mile race, our longest of the season, and a lot can happen tonight. It's good to be home, but it's going to be a long night, Hermie Sadler. For more on that racetrack, let's head over to turn 4.
Well, thank you, Wendy. And you're looking at turn 4 here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. 24 degrees of banking, plenty of room to run 3 wide. But as you get to the exit of turn 4, 3 wide will not work. Think back to last Saturday night at the All-Star race. Jeff Gordon on the inside of a 3-wide battle off of turn 4. Jeff Gordon slides down through the infield battling with Ryan Newman and Kyle Busch. Now, what makes turn 4 so tricky? Well, look how it narrows up off this corner. You go from 24 degrees to a flat straightaway, and not only that, you got to get ready to make a turn again to go through this dog leg. So for 600 miles, these drivers have to know when to be aggressive and when to give and take to get to the end of this 600-mile race. JR?
Hermie, thanks a lot. Now, of course, last weekend, the All-Star race, no one mentioned points because it was all about the $1 million prize. This weekend, we are back to points, and we have 14 to go before the cutoff for the chase. Jeff Gordon still finds himself in the first spot with second place Tony Stewart, just 29 points back.
You said it, 29. You know, he's been rolling. Tonight's a point race. Don't count him out. But you know what? Denny Hamlin, very quietly, same way, right in the top 5.
A lot of these top 10 drivers have not won yet, but it's only a matter of time. Kyle Busch has won a few races.
And you got the Biff the Ninth, you got Matt the Brat Kenseth. Matt Kenseth, him and his wife getting ready to have a baby, so he's going to be looking for a win.
It wasn't long ago Mark Martin was outside looking in. He's in the top 12, Kenny. You know what I'm noticing? Only one Childress car in the top 12 in points here. How about one Pubba just sneaking right there, lingering? This top 12, fans, this is what it's about. Getting to become an opportunity to win the Sprint Cup.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 18th spot, Martin Truex Jr. right behind him. And how about one of the brighter surprises this season, Marcus Ambrose in the 20th spot in points.
And you know what I got to say here, fans? What a great job by Marcus Ambrose. But you know what? The 14 and the 39 car, you never even heard of this team last year, Haas. Do you know in the last 7 races, Ryan Newman, who started on the pole tonight, and Tony Stewart have scored more points than anybody the last 7-point races, Kenny.
And you know what? I've been reading. Oh, what a surprise Darian Grubb is, the crew chief to Tony Stewart. Please, this is not a surprise. You know, Darian Grubb, the crew chief for Tony Stewart, he's already won the Daytona 500 with Jimmy Johnson. This team is for real. That's why they're contending right now. Let's stop this madness of, oh, this is a new team. Not a new team.
No, and we're going to hear from Darian Grubb a little bit later on in the show, along with a lot of special guests for this very special race, the Coke 600. And think about this. We've had 50 years of Mark Martin. We've also had 50 years of the Coke 600. We'll be back with more of NASCAR Race Day in just a moment.
NASCAR Race Day is built by the Home Depot. Visit HomeDepot.com. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. Keep the wheels turning. And by Prilosec OTC. Block the burn all day and all night.
Well, there's a little bit of rain falling right now over Concord, North Carolina, but it will take a lot more than a little rain to stop this crowd of the best fans in all of sports. They're here to see NASCAR's marathon, the Coke 600. And this time last year, we saw just a little bit of everything in last year's Coke 600, but in the end, it was Casey Kane who pulled off a huge victory.
This is the Coca-Cola 600. It is the longest race in NASCAR.
And this is an amazing Salute the Troops Day, isn't it?
Tonight, we'll say goodbye to a legend.
We're getting set to go green flag racing here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway.
As 400 laps, you know you got to be in there the next 4 or 5 hours. And 4.
Now tightening up center.
Pole sitter Kyle Busch has got some problems out there. He just radioed in and said,
something's going wrong. It's popping and sputtering and whatever.
Switch boxes.
The bolts are down to 12. What's wrong with an alternator?
Right rear pressure.
Just dragging the balance pretty damn hard, Kenny.
10-4, man. I was hoping that would wear off here in a little while.
This is not acting the same after this cycle on the tires.
Same cycle as those guys ahead of you, bud. Just settle in. You'll be fine.
Kurt Busch is coming like a rocket.
car is tight on entry and loose when I pick up the throttle, center out. But we're going to put a half pound back in the left. Our entry is what's going to hurt us later tonight.
We're moving from the daytime into the nighttime, and right now, Casey Kane is beginning to rumble.
Can we go any faster than that, or what's the problem? Don't have much downforce, but yeah, we can go faster.
This is a race for the lead, side by side.
Junior getting the wall there.
Junior
Now.
trouble. A hit up here in turn number 3 and 4.
Blow the right front tire, I think.
Someone just threw like a beer bottle. Barely missed me.
They were probably trying to hit the 18. You're the leader now, babe. 7 to go at the line, 7. Stewart's about a straightaway ahead. He had to take less gas.
Tony Stewart has a problem. He's slow in the banking in turn number 2.
I got a flat right front.
Surprise, surprise. Casey Kane thought he was going to finish second. He is going to be heading to victory lane.
Hit your marks. Keep focused.
Casey Kane going to victory lane here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway for the 3rd time.
Woo! What happened to Stewart? Got a flat right front, buddy. Had a flat right front. We won. Buddy, we won, bud. We won. Great job. Great job.
Three wins for Casey Kane in the last 6 races here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Casey, you know a thing or two about getting around this place. What is it going to take to get around the 600 miles and be there at the end tonight?
Well, I think we had a really good car yesterday. Our Budweiser Dodge was fast in practice. The track will change a lot today and then going into tonight. So just really, keeping with the track, making sure we make the right adjustments, communicating well throughout the race, and some pit strategy late in the race to have good track position, I think will be a big part of it.
Now, it's already been raining as we've come on the air on NASCAR race day. It rained yesterday in final practice. You actually didn't get out on the racetrack. Are you at all concerned about the lack of practice we've had this weekend?
I'm a little bit. I wish we could have at least made 5 or so laps yesterday. Right when I went out, it started raining hard, so we had to come right back in. But we had a good car in the first practice. The rain's been so spotty. It's just hitting and then not hitting, and I think it'll be an interesting night, regardless of the rain or not. It'll be pretty fun.
Now, you're only 66 points out of that top 12. How much are you paying attention to that this early in the season?
Well, I need to pay attention to it. I made 1 chase in 5 years, so that's a pretty bad record. So I need to really pay attention to it, get all the points I possibly can each week, and as we keep getting our cars better, like Richard Petty Motorsports has, I think we should have a good shot at Maine. And 60 points isn't that many.
That is correct. Good luck to Casey Kane. He'll start 6th today in the Coca-Cola 600. Now, Casey Kane is our most recent Coca-Cola 600 winner, but the guy that won here last time in the fall of 2008, that was Jeff Burton with his win. The last time we visited Lowe's Motor Speedway for a points race, and Hermie Sadler is with Jeff Burton.
Well, we see Jeff Burton right there crossing the finish line last October. Winning a race here at Charlotte's a big deal. How was that win for you last year? It meant a lot to your team, I'm sure.
Yeah, it really did. It was a great race because we were able to go win it with speed. We were able to pass Greg for the lead, and then Jimmy came up and we were able to get away from him. And then the 9, Casey's always fast here. We were able to beat him. So it was a good night for us because we won it with speed, and we won some other ones with finesse, and that one we were able to win with speed. So it felt good to do that.
Since that time, fast forward to May 2009, all of your teams have openly been struggling at these kind of racetracks. From a fan's point of view from home, how can you get from winning a race in October to be in a position to know you need work to do just a few months later?
Well, because everybody in this garage is trying to do it better than you are, and some people find a way to do it better. This is a very competitive sport, a lot of great teams. We will find our way back to the front. We have struggled. Honestly, I believe we've made big strides. We ran really well the last 4 or 5 weeks. We've run way better than we did the 4 or 5 weeks prior to that. This week's been a struggle, but I think I'm optimistic. I really am. I think we made some changes and made the car a lot better. I'm a lot more comfortable in the car in yesterday's practice. So, this thing's not over yet. I'm not giving it up just yet.
And 600 miles is the big story tonight, but where do you feel like your car needs to be good to win at Charlotte?
Well, the thing here is you never know what kind of race you're going to get. You might get a long green flag at the end. You might get a bunch of cautions. This racetrack is going to change. You're going to see people running out by the wall. You're going to see them being able to run on the white line. The key is having that right track position and then being able to put your car wherever it needs to be so you can win it. And last year we were able to win on the outside. Last night, the nationwide race, the bottom and the outside worked. So the key for us is being able to to carry a little more speed to the center of the corner than we've been able to do so far this week. And if we can accomplish that, we'll be in good shape.
And JR, Jeff Burton hit on exactly what we like about Lowe's Motor Speedway. The drivers have options. Look for Jeff Burton to have a solid run tonight.
Hermie, thanks a lot. Jeff Burton is currently 6th in owner points, and here's the reason why. He has been running at the end of every race so far this season. And Kenny and Jimmy, he has only failed to complete 4 laps. That is not too shabby.
Well, it's a big deal to complete all the laps you can. And let me tell you why I say this. Did you listen to Casey Kane's interview? He says the rain is hitting and missing. It's a 400-lap race, 600 miles. The most important lap tonight could be 201. So remember that while you're sitting at home watching this baby on TV, because when we get to 201, that could be an official race. Like Casey Kane said, I don't know what's going to happen. We're trying to prepare, but the rain is in and out, Jimmy.
And, you know, I want to talk about that. You know, Casey saying had a little lack of practice, he told Wendy. Yesterday, everybody did. But, you know, he has not had a top 10 in the last 6 races. So, you know, that Dodge team, the Budweiser-led Casey Kane car, needs to get on track. That whole organization struggling right now. So they need to have a good night tonight.
And as if this race isn't tough enough on these crew chiefs with all the strategy they have to go from day to night, they also have to keep an eye on the skies and play amateur meteorologists as well. Still to come on race day, we're going to get the real deal behind the smile on Mark Martin's face, among other guests coming by to talk to us.
600 laps and plenty of memories. We'll travel through the years for some of Charlotte's best moments. Stick around. NASCAR Race Day on Speed.
Welcome back to Race Day, everyone, at Lowe's Motor Speedway. This Coca-Cola 600 represents 50 years of racing and a half-century of history. Drivers and tracks will come and go, but still, there is nothing like the Coke 600.
Major League Stock Car Racing has come to North Carolina to stay. This is Charlotte Motor Speedway. Engineers reshape 551 acres of land to sculpt to this home of the World 600, longest stock car race in the world. Johnson is the first man to see the checkered flag and the historic pride of winning the first World 600 race.
This is the Charlotte World 600. And if stock car racing is a peerless sport, then this is the peerless race.
That was at 175 miles an hour. 4 wide. That 4 wide.
Richard Petty wins the World 600, America's longest racing classic.
Look at this battle up in front. 2 3-time winners side by side.
There's Jim Pascoe leading this race by almost 3 laps. Uh-oh, watch it, he's out of shape up here in the number 4 turn.
I'm quite sure he's going to have to go to the pits.
How about Ryan Newman? He leads this race from the pole. It's his first ever Winston Cup start in Charlotte.
Ooh, baby! Oh, he hits outside wall. He's going to come down. Overcorrected, Darrell.
Dale Earnhardt on pit road. 5-lap penalty for hitting Jeff Bodine and knocking him out of the race.
2 days your car gets taken out for no apparent reason, and I don't know how long these guys can put up with this. It's just, I guess evidently the infraction was so flagrant today that they had to give him 5 laps.
That's Rick Hendrick.
The Coca-Cola 600 belongs to Jeff Gordon. It was very emotional when he came in here. Jeff Gordon in absolute tears.
I'm speechless, man. I mean, this is the greatest day of my life. I don't know what to say.
19 years of trying. Mark Martin has finally won the 600.
Will you savor this one? It's been so long.
I don't know if I'll ever win another one. You can believe I'm gonna party all night, and I don't even drink.
It is Allison who perseveres and takes the checkered flag.
Neil Bonnet took the checkered flag at the World 600 for the 2nd year in a row.
Coming to the stripe. And for the first time in his career, Rusty Wallace has won the 600.
His first Winston Cup appearance at 24 years of age, Dale Earnhardt Jr., number 8.
Meanwhile, for the lead, oh wow, they're making a sandwich.
the lead. 1-lap penalty on Earnhardt.
Well, this team is absolutely irate. Earnhardt came over the radio, guys. He said he never touched him.
Well, they just said that rough driving, they'll hit him. You know, you out there racing, you know, what can you say? We just got to try to win the race. I think we can still win it.
Winner of the Coca-Cola 600, Dale Earnhardt. When you got penalized, did you get angry? Did it make you drive faster?
I don't know why they penalized me. He got loose in the air and went out. I was just close.
Darrell Waltrip, the first man to win the 600 4 times.
This certainly makes up for that measly $200,000 that they paid last week.
David Pearson, winner of the 15th World 600.
Jarrett on the inside and then some. Whoa! He did it. Dale Jarrett has won the 600, the 37th running of it.
You guys are making a habit of winning big races.
Yeah, well, if you're going to win just a few, I guess to win the big ones is the way to do it.
Winston Cup win, #1 in the Coca-Cola 600 for Wisconsin's Matt Kenseth.
Here comes Johnson. He's going to race to the outside. They'll be side by side.
At the outside of turn number 4, Jimmy Johnson on the outside, side by side, and down to the stripe. On the outside, Jimmy Johnson will win the Coca-Cola 600.
Who could have predicted a storybook finish?
Until next week, then, so long from Charlotte.
Well, what a great feature and a lot of great memories from the Coca-Cola 600 here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. And I got to say, we saw the piece from Dale Jarrett in 1996, and I said, Joey, how about Dale Jarrett dominating that race? Do you remember that? He said, I was only 6 years old. I have no idea. You're 19 today, though. You're getting on up in the world. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm getting old now.
How about this race for you? First time going at it for 600 miles. Anything different going on in your mind for 600 miles as opposed to a short race like 500 miles?
Yeah, short race like 500. I don't know. You do a couple little things different, but I don't think it's going to be much. You know, it's going to be a long, grueling race if we get it in here. I don't know about the weather right now, but the Home Depot Toyota is really good. I was, we qualified 14th, and our final practice I was happy with the car. We're fast, so really excited. I'm excited to get out here. I really like this place. You know, we top to the bottom, so I think the new asphalt type of racetracks are playing in my favor right now, as long as they're rookie right now. So we'll see. We'll see what we got.
Seems like maybe right after Talladega, you got that first top 10 finish. It's almost like a little light came on and things started to click better, not only on the racetrack, but your communication with your crew chief. Was that something that gave you a little confidence?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things that are going together. Yeah, the confidence, the momentum that's been building since then, I think that's huge. That's been going. And I think just getting some notes built up from the beginning of the year and able to go back on some things that we couldn't do in the beginning of the year, I think that's helps a lot too. So experience, getting out there, you know, momentum, all that stuff that keeps building up, and I think that's why we're getting better right now. So hopefully we can keep going on that.
Well, I don't want to put any added pressure on you, but I know your sponsor, Home Depot, would love to get the trophy from the racetrack here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. How about it?
Oh, I know that. I know Home Depot would love that. So we're going to try as hard as we can. You know, we'll do whatever we got.
Joey Logano coming on in the Sprint Cup Series. He starts 14th. Wendy?
Well, thank you, Hermie. And I'm with the other home improvement with crew chief Chad Knaus. Now, Chad, you guys have a special paint scheme on Jimmy Johnson's car today in honor of Memorial Day weekend, and it's a flashback to your dad, John Knaus's race car in a little bit. Tell us about it and the 12,000 names on it.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat paint job, actually, and what we did is we worked real hard with the people at Hendrick Motorsports, and Lowe's actually allowed this to happen, to come up with a really cool patriotic paint scheme for Memorial Day. You know, everybody that's worked with us and works at Lowe's, you know, we all support our country, and, you know, we're big fans of our armed forces, and we had some special requests from the people in the military saying, you know, we really like it when you guys do the different paint schemes to commemorate what it is that we do. So I was like, okay, you know, let's come up with something. And I mentioned it to the Lowe's people, and they said, you know, go ahead, Chad, if you really want to do it, why don't you go ahead and take the lead and see what you can come up with. And our design staff at Hendrick Motorsports really worked hard on coming up with a basic paint scheme, and then Lowe's actually came back and said, you know what, we've got kind of a neat number, 12,548 people that work at Lowe's that are veterans or current service members that work at Lowe's, and we'd like to put their names on the car. So what we did is we put their names on the hood and the deck lid, and it's pretty neat. So everybody's just got a little piece of action there on that car, and it looks fantastic, and hopefully we can get in victory lane tonight.
And we have one of those names on the race car as a guest with us today, retired U.S. Army Special Forces Green Beret, James Irby, joining us. Now, James is out of the Huntersville, North Carolina store as operations manager. What does this paint scheme mean to you? Chad Knaus designed it, and it's a special weekend here for NASCAR.
First, for me personally, it means a lot to me to see my name on that car.
But I think for the men and women that are currently serving in the armed forces, you know, it's a great honor for them, those present and past, and what a way to do it. And Lowe's, I think, and Team Hendricks has done a great thing this Memorial Day weekend.
And how cool is it? You're a local. You graduated from South Mecklenburg High School in Charlotte, North Carolina, not too far from here. It's a great homecoming for everyone this weekend. And
truly, to come back out here, come to the racetrack. And again, I say it all the time, I want to see that number 48 Lowe's car in Victor Reign tonight.
All right, we got to ask you, Chad. You usually do our Sunoco pit strategy on tape, but today, special day, we're going to do it live. So tell me, what is your strategy to last 600 miles? What is the key for today on pit road?
Obviously, a lot of patience. You're going to have to really take care of your equipment throughout the night, and you know it's the guy that runs the right race that's going to win this race. So the team has to be spot on. You're going to have 2 tires. You're going to have 4 tires. You're going to have some people taking no tires at all. The tire really isn't falling off like what we've seen in the past. So you can go between, let's say, 57 and maybe 60 laps in a Sunoco fuel run. So you got to really be a little bit creative, because if you start to lose track position at any point in time in the race, it's going to be very difficult to recover. So you're going to have to really use a little bit of strategy. Use your guys, and your driver's going to have to be patient. So a little bit of patience, a little bit of strategy, and maybe you'll be in victory lane tonight.
Now, we heard from Casey Kane, not a lot of practice. We know practice was cut short. You guys were fastest in final practice. Doesn't mean you're the happiest right now. Qualified 5th, but you picked pit stall number 43. Why was that, Chad?
Why not? How's that? No, it's this is a tricky place, and like I said, you're going to have people that are going to be rolling in and out of pit road with 2 tires, 4 tires, gas only, fuel only. So I wanted to get someplace that was kind of off the beaten path, away from everybody else, so we would have a little bit more room, wiggle room, will you say, just to not get into an accident on pit road. So we're going to be able to get in, get our service, and get back out towards the infield side, the grass side of the racetrack, and hopefully stay out of harm's way. And that's kind of the reason why we picked there.
All right, thanks to Chad Knaus. Good luck to the 48. They have 5 wins here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, 3 of them coming with the Coca-Cola 600. Johnny?
Wendy, thanks a lot, and that's why you should always trust Chad Knaus to give you the Sunoco pit strategy of the weekend, because that strategy has paid off on many occasions. The National Tailgating League held its inaugural Cornhole tournament this weekend at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Doubles tournaments were played on Saturday and Sunday, producing a total of 4 tournament winners throughout the weekend. For more information on this and future tournaments, please go to the ntl.com. End of fun with family and friends at the Michigan International Speedway. Sprint Cup tickets start at $40, and kids 12 and under are free. Call 800-354-1010 or go to mispeedway.com for the June 14th LifeLock 400 at Michigan International Speedway. We are looking at 600 miles of racing tonight in the golden anniversary of the Coke 600. We're dodging raindrops here or there, but it looks pretty good for getting racing in tonight in and around the clouds. That is not the only bit of news that is floating around the garage area right now, and for more on that, let's go to Wendy Venturini.
Well, thank you, Johnny. If you could see behind me, I'm in the Sprint Cup Series garage area. Nice and quiet. All the cars have gone through the tech inspection area and have been brought back into the garage stalls. Now, we usually don't see this, but because of the rain and the weather, what NASCAR has done is brought these cars back in, covered them up instead of bringing them out to pit road right now. And they're going to stay in here until 5 o'clock Eastern and then be brought back out. So race fans, you got to be patient right now. We're going to let this rain shower pass. Now, in other news on the racetrack this weekend, we have one driver going to the rear of the field, the 36 of Scott Riggs, but he had qualified in the back. They did have an engine change on that 36, and quite possibly some of the biggest news this weekend will be coming up next week when we get to Dover. We're going to have to tell you about a mandatory drivers meeting that is being held on Tuesday at the R&D Center in Concord, North Carolina. That R&D Center will have all the drivers, car owners, and crew chiefs attending on Tuesday morning. That is where they're saying the drivers will have a town hall forum of sorts, and they'll be able to discuss the COT and how to improve that race car. There will also be an open forum where anyone can ask any type of question. No subject is off limits, and that could possibly include the drug testing policy in NASCAR. We're going to have to wait till we get to Dover to find out exactly what was discussed. Johnny?
Wendy, thanks a lot. Now, certainly we've seen full driver, owner, crew chief meetings with NASCAR like this before, but generally in the past, the gist we have afterwards is that, gentlemen, NASCAR has said, and you guys have been in those meetings, NASCAR has come with the drivers and they've said, hey, look, you guys need to do this, you need to say this. You know, they've told you drivers how it is. This one seems like it's the opposite side of the coin, where the drivers can actually talk to NASCAR and their opinions can be heard.
Race fans, this to me is unprecedented, because let me tell you, you know, I'm still a driver racing in the Nationwide Series, and I've been at all NASCAR meetings, and usually it's like this. This is what the meeting's about. Listen to us. And this is what we're going to do, and we're only going to tell you one time, and we're not going to tell you ever again. This is your warning. So for this meeting to include everybody, and rumor has it, NASCAR hasn't made an announcement what they're going to talk about, but Spence, I got to think that if they're going to open this up, this is unprecedented. You know, will they really open it up? Will they say, you know, because, I mean, it's always been like, listen to us.
I think they will.
This will be new. This will be exciting.
Well, you know, the thing I look at is I think this is a great step in the direction the sport needs to go. They need to get the drivers, owners, and crew chiefs involved more so than they ever have in the past. The racing, fans tell me, the racing sucks. I don't know. Some of them do, but not all of them. But at the end of the day, they cannot have Jeff Gordon. They cannot have Jimmy Johnson. They can't have, you know, Matt Kenseth. They come out of the car saying you can't pass wherever you are. The track position is more critical. That is not good for the sport. It's not good for the fans. So I think this meeting, Kenny, is a step in the right direction, simply from the standpoint, man, they're going to listen, throw out a lot of ideas, test them. The next step, try to make our racing better. I tip my hat to NASCAR for it.
I have one idea, NASCAR. Maybe double file these babies with, like, you know, 20 or 50 to go. That all-star race. 3 wide, baby.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
That was good.
Hey,
Six guys.
Hey.
6 guys had a shot at winning that race, Kenny. Awesome. I agree with you.
Bill France said to me, it's about the show, baby. Let's put on a show.
Oh, it
double
was.
file with 20 to go.
And that all-star race was a show. We're going to talk more about double file restarts a little later, and next weekend at Dover, we'll have full reaction from this driver, crew chief, and NASCAR meeting that's coming your way on Tuesday. You know, earlier this week, Wendy Venturini tagged along with Jeff Gordon as he had his annual charity go-kart event. It goes on to benefit a great cause, the Jeff Gordon Foundation. They called it the Ultimate Speed Go-Kart Track Event, and in the end, you know, there was actually a guy that was faster than Jeff Gordon. Yeah, believe that. Let's take a look at what Wendy Venturini had found as they went to build a pulmonary lab at Charlotte's Children's Pavilion.
Well, the Jeff Gordon Foundation, we started in 1999, and you know, it's really just about how we can raise money and awareness for children and families who are in need. We primarily focus on life-threatening illnesses, leukemia, lymphoma, and we work with the Merrill Foundation, Make-A-Wish Foundation, but we also are very focused on the Jeff Gordon Children's Hospital, which is in Concord, North Carolina, and so we've got a new pulmonary lab that we're supporting that's going to be starting construction soon.
Now explain to us what's going on here today.
Well, today is our annual go-kart event. We've been able to bring a number of teams together to go out there and have fun racing go-karts. I'm going to be in every race, racing against them. We'll narrow it down to, I think, the top 12 fastest drivers of the day. And we'll go out there and have about a 15-lap shootout. Last year I handed the trophy off to somebody else because they beat me pretty bad. You know, we always find a winner, but no matter what, everybody is really, truly a winner to come and support this cause. And especially this year, we have a real focus and need with the pulmonary lab at the Jeff Gordon Children's Hospital. So we're really proud of this association and then how this event has taken off over the years.
It was a great event, and the guy's name who beat Jeff Gordon was Mike Smith, go-karting champion. So throughout 2009, the Jeff Gordon Foundation will be celebrating a decade of caring. Part of this celebration is their 10-match campaign. Each contribution of $10 or more will be personally matched by Jeff Gordon, up to a total of $250,000. To participate in the 10-match campaign, please visit the foundation website at jeffgordonfoundation.org. And also, we'd like to thank the Jeff Gordon Racing School for providing the race cars for last weekend's Pennzoil Victory Challenge here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. For information, call 1-877-RACE-LAPS or go on to AndrettiGordon.com. We'll be back to the Coke 600 as we get ready for 600 long miles of racing.
Mr. Martin must like this full-time gig. 2 wins in 09 and in the chase hunt. Wendy puts her game face on and gets the deal on Mark's season so far.
You know, I always used to look and say the good old days were, you know, that was better than it was now. I said that for 10 or 15 years. And now I say today is the good old days.
Straight ahead, NASCAR Race Day on Speed.
Welcome back to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot here in Concord, North Carolina. Now, Mark Martin's win at Darlington was his second win of 2009. The first time he has won twice in a season since back in 1999. Mark Martin, now 11th in points, could possibly be on his way to a championship. Well, don't say the C word in front of Mark Martin. He says he's just going to go out and try and win every single race he can. Here's this week's Real Deal with Mark Martin.
His second win in 2009, Mark Martin wins the Southern 500 at Darlington.
First off, Mark, congrats on the second win this season. What did you think when you got to victory lane a second time? I mean, that's really starting to prove something about this 5 car.
You know, for me, it was, in some ways, it was even more enjoyable because it was pretty overwhelming at Phoenix. It had been so long, and there was so much excitement and so many people coming in. And this time I got to really see the team's face. I got to really feel the enthusiasm and the excitement that they had, and that's better than the trophy.
15 years since your last win at Darlington. Can you believe it had been that long?
That's a long time.
Did it feel like it?
That's a long time, and we had a lot of great races at Darlington. This was really, really special. It means so much to me. Rick makes it so much fun. Just the coolest stuff. You know, the text he sent me that I got right before I got on the helicopter to leave that night was just really cool. He's just the neatest guy.
Rick Hendrick has been at home the last couple of weeks. He hadn't been feeling well. Rick, this ought to make you feel a lot better, buddy.
So did you just tell him just to stay home now?
No, I want Rick to get back to the racetrack. You know, he's so much fun to be around, and I don't believe that he would bring me any bad luck.
Did I tell you he's the hottest driver on the circuit? Right now. Ran his first race in 1981. Here he is tonight, 50 years old, and driving like a kid.
Whether you want to focus about points or not, you're in the top 12 right now. Do you really watch the move up or down in points, or do you try not to pay any attention to it?
Well, I was paying attention when we were either 34th or 35th. I think we were 34th in the driver's points. I think we were 35th in the owner's points after or whenever it was. But yeah, I'm paying, you know, I pay a little attention to that. But it is one way that you measure your success. It's only one way. And this race team deserves to be in there. And if we don't make it, it won't be from a lack of effort, and it won't be from performance. It'll be from, you know, terrible luck.
Now, after your Phoenix win, I interviewed Alan, and he told me...
Mark's going to watch this and be mad at me probably, but that's why I race. You know, I don't think it's a secret that we're here to win races and win a championship.
Is it wrong for Alan to throw the disclaimer out there that he and the 5 team are going for a championship?
No, that's fine. That's fine for Alan. You know, I'm out here to finish as high as I can in every single race. And if I'm running 25th, I will bust a gut to run 24th. Just like I will running second for first. But I'm not going to allow a points tally dictate my mood or how I feel about myself or my life. You know, I'm done with that. I feel good about that. It's working for me. And everybody else can do what they want to. But the way I'm doing it right now is working for me.
And you don't want to claim that you're running for a championship?
I'm not laying awake at night thinking about that championship trophy. Yeah. I'm laying awake at night thinking how much fun it is to drive a really fast race car, and I might have a chance to win again this weekend. You know, that's what I'm thinking about.
So do you like the idea now? We're going to reset with the 10 races to go, and you keep racking up these wins. 10 points, 10 points, 10 points.
Yeah, we need, you know, we're that's cool, you know, for two reasons. We can wipe our DNFs clean that we experienced in the beginning of the year that set us back with the bonus points. You know, right now we're sitting, I think we'd be tied for second if it reset right now. So first we have to make the chase, and if we make the chase, then we have to be in a position to maybe peak for those last 10. And if we do that, then it will be certainly our best effort.
And it looks like Mark Martin has been peaking already early in this season. He's been the best Hendrick Motorsports car for the 3 of the last 4 races that we've had. Now, Mark Martin has won the Coca-Cola 600. It was back in 2002. Hermie Sadler, you've made your way back outside to the stage. What do you think of Mark Martin? 50 years old, he could be making history as the oldest Coca-Cola 600 winner if he were to win today.
The guy's he's just unbelievable. I mean, if you'd have told me 5 years ago that Mark Martin would be driving for Rick Hendrick after all those years with Roush, I'd say it'll never happen anyway. But since he's been over there, guys, it's not just the race wins, it's how he's brought that whole team together, all the drivers together, unified them, and it's elevated that whole operation.
Well, you know, we call him Mark the Kid Martin from Batesville, Arkansas. Why? Because when I was a kid, I was like, I don't know, 11 years old. This kid came in and run ASA, like 15, 16 years old, and it was unheard of somebody to be racing that young. But I want to talk about Mark telling everybody, look, you're not going to define me by these points championships. See, listen, race fans, Mark Martin has finished second in the points 4 times. That will drive a man nuts. That will drive a man to the insane asylum. So Mark Martin, I applaud him. Why? Because everybody that's in competition, they want you to go, I'm miserable. I want it so bad. People want you to be on the edge of destruction all the time. You know what Mark said? He says, no, I will not do that. I am happy doing what I'm doing. You know, Spence, you always said to me, Jimmy Spencer always said to me, Dale Earnhardt's greatest asset was that he had a strong mind.
Yeah, and that's what Mark has.
Yeah, so I mean, Mark's philosophy is, look, you're not going to define me whether I'm a championship or not, because Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl, but you don't say Dan Marino not a good football player.
Well, and I personally feel, in my opinion, that this is nothing against where he's driven at before. I think Mark Martin's best opportunity to win a championship is right now. And the reason why, his teammate won 3 in a row. Gordon's a 4-time champion, and they won a championship with Terry Labonte. The thing is Mark Martin is not the guy that's going to go out there like Carl or Jimmy and just dominate, go. He's going to do what he did at Darlington. He's going to do what he did at Phoenix. He's going to plan his strategy, and baby, he's like a snake. When he's ready to strike, be careful, he'll strike. The last 10 races of this year, you can count on Mark Martin being a factor in this chase.
Yeah, and how about that with all this talk this day and age about young drivers? How about a guy 50 years old winning the championship? That would be cool. A good thing for all older people of the world. Things do get older, better with age. At least we think so.
Like wine.
Yes. You know, there's a first time for everything. How about this 50th running of the Coke 600? We have a Toyota Hybrid as the pace car, and that's pretty cool. Welcome back, race fans. This is NASCAR Race Day coming to you live from Concord, North Carolina, and Lowe's Motor Speedway. The Coca-Cola 600 has been built on 50 years of tradition, and there's not anything quite like a race near Charlotte, USA. Tony Stewart is second in points and on a roll after his all-star win last weekend, but points leader Jeff Gordon won't give up the points lead easily, and he is a 5-time winner at this racetrack. NASCAR teams and fans converge to pay tribute to our men and women in the military, and we're ready for 600 miles of racing action under the lights at Lowe's Motor Speedway. It's NASCAR's equivalent to the marathon or the Ironman triathlon, and not only do you have to be physically fit, but mentally fit as well to start racing in the daytime and move on to the nighttime and add in, we got showers in the area, so the crew chief is going to have to make one more strategic move before the night is over. Now we're going to go down to Hermie Sadler for our Advanced Auto Parts explanation. Take it away, Herm.
Well, thank you, JR. I'm over here at the Advanced Auto Parts cutaway car, and we think about the Coca-Cola 600. We think about 600 miles. We think about starting the afternoon, going into night, and we hear a lot about adjustability. Drivers, crew chiefs need adjustability into these race cars to run this race. Well, Kevin here is going to take off the rear tire for me. Tell like I'm a right rear tire changer. Tire comes off right here. I'm the tire changer. I'm going to get you to change tires. Crew chief may say to me, hey, we need to put spring rubber in the right rear. Well, that's all well and good, and it can make a big difference on the handling of the car. But as you try to insert this spring rubber inside of a spring, the stiffer spring you run in the right rear, the more difficult it is to get this spring rubber inserted in here without losing time. Remember, losing time on pit road really hurts your track position. So the next thing these guys are going to do to help save some time in the pits is make adjustments with air pressure. This spring rubber right here can make about 60 to 80 pounds of spring rate additionally in the right rear spring. Well, 1 pound of air in this Goodyear tire will do the same thing. They can get the change done in the tire, and the tire carrier or changer does not have to get off rhythm to make a change with a spring rubber. So you'll see a lot of air pressure adjustments tonight to get the car like they need them to win tonight when it gets dark here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. JR?
Hermie, thanks a lot. Just another thing to look at tonight is we have a lot of adjustability built into these race cars and a long race in front of us. Go to speedtv.com, type in keyword Advanced Auto Parts, and check out the Advanced Auto Parts virtual cutaway car. Now, if you're going to run a marathon or enter a triathlon, you know, not only do you have to be physically fit, but mentally fit as well. This 600-miler is the longest race anywhere, and certainly the longest for Sprint Cup competitors. So now, let's take a listen to what the drivers have to say about this long race.
You know, 600 miles is more challenging from the mental aspect as it is the physical aspect. I think that, you know, you've got to stay on top of making changes the whole race long. You know, you can't tear things up in the beginning. You can't over-rev the engine on restarts and stuff like that.
You try not to, you know, psych yourself out too much about being 600 miles instead of 500. You know, you almost think of it as just a race. We know it's a little bit longer, so it's more like pace yourself.
You're always trying to make a plan for your next change on the race car and not paint yourself in a corner on something you can't change back. So it's a long race, starts in the day, goes into night. You always hope that your setup and the racetrack come together for the final 100 miles.
You know, I always tell everybody this one's the one when they yell coming to halfway. You know, when the spotter says that, you just can't believe that you know, you've got another 300 miles to go. So it's a long race. Looks like it's going to be pretty warm, you know, and if your car's not right, it'll be excruciating. If your car is good, it'll be fun.
Now, speaking of excruciating, if you've ever suffered from lower back pain before, you know exactly what champion Jeff Gordon is going through. He recently had a shot in his back to try to alleviate some of the pain. And you know what, folks, if you've never been behind the wheel of a race car, and Hermie, Jimmy, and Kenny, you guys can attest to this, it's not a comfortable position to be in.
And it's because he's carrying Earnhart on his back all the time.
You did not just say that.
No.
Okay, but seriously.
He's not that heavy, Jimmy.
Well, hey, let me say something. It ended David Pearson's career. Lower back pain did.
It does. Lower back pain is one of the worst things you can have, especially in a race car. You say, well, what's he doing? Just carrying the race team? No, the truth is, you got the seats really tight. You're against stuff, and it's bone pounding. And it's a long, hard race at a lot of speed.
And probably the biggest comment that Jeff Gordon made is he said if he cannot get this back situation under control, that this kind of pain could definitely shorten his career.
And something we don't need to forget about is in the last 8, 9, 10 years, the aggressive nature of the shock packages on these cars. It's not just Daytona and Talladega anymore. Everywhere we go, it's a rigid ride, and so that's going to affect a lot of other guys too.
Okay, drivers, let's jump up in the cockpit of these race cars and start going around this track because they're going to make 400 circuits, we hope, tonight in these cars. Let's take a hot lap around Lowe's Motor Speedway.
And the big thing here, guys, a lot of drivers love this racetrack. Here we are riding with the old Kevin Harvick, heading down into turn start finish line, heading down into turn one. And this is a critical part of the track, guys. A little bit of high entry, get to that white line as quick as you can.
And you know what? You want to let the car roll, get on the gas, and Hermie, as we come up off of turn two, the wall comes up pretty quick here.
And these guys are all over this racetrack, especially at night. We're seeing guys in the second groove, rim riding up against the wall. Wherever your car works, you can let it go there. But Jimmy, are you going to have to run on the bottom to win tonight?
I don't think you will. Remember, Jimmy Johnson passed the 18 car to win the Coke 600 on the last lap, high side. Remember Casey Kane, the high side. You know, the thing is we saw the most exciting race we've ever seen in Charlotte last week in the Sprint All-Star race. And the big thing we saw, it didn't matter where you were. It didn't matter where you started. You could get your weight there. And the reason why, you could pass.
Yes, and you know, even though Tony Stewart in the All-Star race took the lead on the bottom, he worked to get his car to sit up there. This is a different car. This is not the car Jimmy Johnson won with on the outside. This is the new car.
I got to say this quick, though, Hermie. I guess was I the only one watching? How about Newman? He didn't think that nobody thought he had enough room on the outside. He goes out, way outside.
In the parking lot. He was outside the racetrack.
It tries to take the win, and you showed it earlier on the show with the crash, the three-wide crash.
It really is. And going back to Tony Stewart, one quick thought. When he made that pass below Matt Kenseth, in-car camera, he was able to breathe the gas and jam it right in the middle of the corner and have that forward bite as well. If you can get that at the right time tonight, you got something going on.
And you know what, race fans, if you stick with us here on NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, we can ask Ryan Newman about that race because he's going to lead us to the green flag here. Oh, in just a matter of a couple of hours here. So stick around, everybody. Much more Race Day coming your way.
Smoke came away with the check, but he wasn't Saturday night's only story. We head back to last weekend for one more look at the All-Star race. Around the Turn, NASCAR Race Day on Speed.
This is a milestone weekend in NASCAR country. It's the 50th running of the Coke 600, but last weekend we also celebrated a milestone. It was a quarter century of all-star racing as we had the 25th annual Sprint All-Star race, and in the end, many fans agreed it was one of the most exciting finishes ever.
There they are, 21 of America's best.
Ready. Green, green, green.
Look at those hound dogs.
Whoopee! Immediately, Kyle Busch goes 3 wide. He passes 2, 4, 7 cars.
I'm going for it. Jimmy Johnson is going to lead the first lap of the Sprint All-Star race.
I tell you, a car that's on the move, Tony Stewart, started back in 15th. He just cracked the top 10.
Start off a little bit free and starting to come to it now.
Jimmy Johnson with a 2-second lead.
We never even saw him. I mean, he was gone at the beginning, and everybody in the first segment of the All-Star race fights handling.
Just time and time again with this race car, particularly on mile-and-a-half racetracks, whomever gets out front checks out.
70 laps are complete. We've got 30 to go. One more 20-lap segment, and then the one everybody's really waiting to see is what happens in the final 10 laps here.
I want you to stay out. No matter what happens, just stay out. When you come to run fifth, fifth in this race don't mean nothing.
We got some of them that are staying out.
Couldn't tell there. They all were down there like they were coming.
It wasn't a typical all-star race where in the past guys had the opportunity to gamble and take 2 tires or just take fuel only.
Ready? Almost there. Green flag.
Boy, Matt didn't get much of a restart there.
Corner down here. Just him. It's all right.
That is the first green flag lead change of the night, and Big Daddy Jeff Gordon has gone to the front.
Made a few mistakes with some of the changes we made. We were able to take those out since we had the 10-minute break, and then we made a lot of other changes of things we probably wouldn't have ever done, but we knew we had to just give Tony everything he needed for comfort to be able to take off for those last 10 laps.
3 wide immediately. Kyle Busch tried to get around Matt Kenseth.
He goes up the gut. He passes everybody off turn 2. Kyle Busch to the lead. Clear. Come on. Not for long if Jeff Gordon's got anything to say about it.
Look at the run that 39 car got.
Ryan Newman, he was gone, and when I saw him 3 wide for the lead off of 4, I thought, man, if they make it, he's got a shot at this.
They get together. Jeff Gordon spins to the inside. Gordon spins across the track. Bounces off the outside retaining wall.
We were really good on the bottom of the racetrack.
Hey, look at the smoke. Now he can run the bottom. And that was on the bottom. He got that run.
We were get by Kyle and run Matt down in a lap. I thought we really got a shot if we can just find a spot that he's weak and we're strong.
4 to go.
We went into turns 1 and 2 and got underneath him. We were side by side with him down the back, and I tried to beat him into 3 and drove in too hard and got loose, and he got back by.
On the high side, but Stewart's not going to give up.
We come back down the front straightaway, go into turn 1, and he runs the bottom, and I'm like, oh, we'll never get a shot at getting back to him. Tony fought really, really hard. He really needed the bottom line to make it work, and luckily Kenseth got just tight enough where he was drifting up the track and gave Tony that bottom line, and he was able to just drive right under.
And Stewart he got him.
You're sitting there looking out your winch, you see $1 million driving away from you.
We knew it was going to be an uphill battle and that it was going to take some time, and we felt like that this team had the capability of doing this, but I don't think any of us anticipated it was going to happen this soon and gel so quickly.
After self-inflicting a penalty on his pit stop, Tony takes $1 million.
Job, guys. Woo! Got us one. Damn it, it's about time. Woo!
It was a history-making day for not only Tony Stewart, but Stewart Haas Racing and his crew chief, Darian Grubb. Darian, congratulations on the All-Star win. $1 million. What was the last week? What has it been like? Because I'm sure it's been chaotic for you.
It's been pretty incredible to go back to Stewart Haas and see all those guys high-fiving and patting each other on the back all week. Just congratulating each other for a job well done. A lot of people, it was their first time to victory lane, so it makes it even that much more special.
Now here we are, Lowe's Motor Speedway, a homecoming for many drivers. Tony Stewart qualified 28th. We know he's a better racer than he is a qualifier. What is it going to take to get up to the front tonight, especially with this rain and the racetrack that might be changing this evening?
Yeah, we'll definitely be watching the weather all night, but a lot of tire strategy going forward. A lot of guys last night were able to take 2 tires, 4 tires, and no tires, so you're going to be going back and forth, just trying to play that game and shooting for the 400 laps, but you never know. We've got to race for lap 200 too, just because of the rain.
Now, did you ever dream when you signed on with Stewart Haas Racing? Here we are, few races into the season, about a third of the way, second in points. You guys clearly look like you could be on your way to a championship. How far you guys have come in a short amount of time.
It's absolutely amazing. We didn't expect to be this strong. We knew we had the equipment and all the personnel to get us here. We thought it was going to take a longer period of time just to get all the bugs worked out, make sure we got all the kinks fixed and things like that. But we're able to go out and run in the top 10 every week, so we've been pretty excited about that. And now we actually break through and get that win. It's a non-points event, so now we want to carry that over this weekend, keep that momentum up, and get some points out of it as well.
All right, good luck to Darian Grubb and Tony Stewart. Of course, that non-points win was great for them last week, but they definitely want to get the 10 bonus points for the Coca-Cola 600 tonight. Johnny, they've had 5 top 5s in the last 6 races. They are on a roll.
Yeah, and Wendy, many fans said it's not a matter of if, but when that team goes to victory lane. That was a non-points event, and it's not going to be too long until they're back in after a points event, because Tony Stewart is still running second in points. You know, Napa, Booty Barker gives us the Napa good stuff every weekend, and this time Booty Barker thinks the good stuff is double file restarts. Booty?
We're going to bring you some good stuff this week from the Coca-Cola 600. We're going to try to explain the rules and what's really going on with the restarts. Well, every week at your normal race, you have a single file restart. The flag man starts. We're going to bring you some good stuff this week from the Coca-Cola 600. We're going to try to explain the rules and what's really going on with the restarts. Well, every week at your normal race, you have a single file restart. The flag man starts the race ceremoniously, and after that, the leader takes over from then on after each caution. And it's a single file restart, unless you have lap cars. When you have lap cars, they line up on the inside. The reason NASCAR does this is back in the old day, you actually had to earn your lap back. You had to pass the leader. So they were trying to make it fair. But the problem with that right now is, let's say you're 5th on the lead lap, but it could be 5 cars that you're not even racing in between you and the leader by the time you get to turn 1. So a lot of fans don't like this. But you have scenario number 2. Do a double file restart like they did at the All-Star race the other night. So what's the pluses and minuses of that? You know, listen to the fans, it's probably all pluses. Why so? 2 reasons. One is excitement. It puts those leaders right amongst each other, and they got to battle it out. They got nobody in between them, and it's going to be very exciting, very hair-raising, and probably have some wrecks. Second point, Drivers have it way too easy right now, unlike us crew chiefs and crew members. So I think they need to earn it the hard way. And that, my friends, is the Napa good stuff.
Booty, thanks a lot. You know, a lot of people thought that double file restart was the good stuff. And gentlemen, we got to ask the question here. Is this a fastball over the plate? Is this a 2x4 across the head saying, hey, man, we need to change this and we need to change this quickly?
I think we do need to change it. You know, and the reason why we're having this meeting on Tuesday, NASCAR, is to get to the bottom of how we can make the racing better. And Booty brings up a perfect point. You don't need to be 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th in line, and now you have 6 cars on the inside of you that are lap cars fighting for the lucky dog. Well, now that they have the lucky dog, automatically them guys get their lap back. So to me, I think double file restarts are the way to go. My whole life racing short tracks, guys, that's what I was raised with. To me, I think it'd be a lot better race for the fans.
Well, here's what I say. I say let's drop the green flag, start the race. Let's everybody go racing. And I think you do single file, and then at the end you build the intensity. And maybe every week it changes. That way people won't tune in. We don't have a set time. We don't go, okay, with 30 to go, we're going to double file. Every week we change it up. But Spence, I got to tell you, one thing Booty said, he says, you know, these drivers got it real easy right now, and crew chiefs got it hard. Well, Booty, when all these wrecks happen, the crew chiefs are going to have it harder because they have to rebuild the cars. Maybe that's what we need.
The crew chiefs don't even get their hands dirty. You mean the guys in the shop?
We're drivers up here, Hermie. I don't think the crew chief has a chance.
But hold on, Bill France always said it's a show. So let's have a show, baby.
It's a no-brainer. What we saw in the All-Star race, put the leaders together, let them race, put the drivers that are lap down together, let them race for the lucky dog, and that way you don't have a leader getting down in front of 2 and 3 lap cars and checking out on the rest of the field. Think of the excitement every time we have a caution, knowing that the leaders are going to be double foul. Let's do it.
And I'll tell you something else, quickly. Quit catering to the drivers, NASCAR, my opinion. Quit catering to the drivers. Cater to the fans.
All right.
My gosh.
Jimmy has spoken. I think the fans agree with him after that. We got to take a quick break here on NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. When we come back, we still have the Rocket Man, your pole sitter, to talk to. Commemorate the 50th running of NASCAR's Sprint All-Star Race with Speed All-Star apparel. Get a one-of-a-kind t-shirt, hat, plus a special edition die-cast signed by Bobby Allison. Buy your Speed All-Star apparel today. Just go to speedtv.com and scroll down to the Speed Store.
Welcome back to NASCAR Race Day here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. They call this a beauty shot, but it's nothing beautiful right now. A little bit rainy weather here at the racetrack. We're hoping it's going to clear up for tonight's race. 79 degrees. Humid out here, showers all night long, and it continues, unfortunately, until Monday. Hopefully that will clear away, and for right now, we're going to move on here on NASCAR Race Day. You're catching up with our pole sitter, Ryan Newman, the first pole of 2009, but you're 8th here at the Speedway. Congratulations on the pole. What does it take to get a fast car around this place and to last 600 miles for a race like tonight?
Well, you for sure can't do what we did on Thursday every lap here tonight. You have to be nice to your race car, and the U.S. Army Chevrolet was definitely good in practice and race trim, so keep your fenders on it like we always talk about, and be smooth and have good pit stops, and it's a really long race. Important thing is, you know, if you get down in the beginning, you can come back and fight back, and you have to just be there, have to, you know, stay Army strong, as they say.
Now, I have to tell you, the fantasy picks that we have on NASCAR Race Day, we're pretty serious on our show, and I am leaning towards Memorial Day weekend, U.S. Army. Ryan Newman, of course, is strong. So what do you think? Is it a good pick?
You're leading the stats, right?
Will I have the most wins of 2009?
Well, if you pick me, I won't let you down. I might not win, but I won't let you down.
Oh, well, thanks, Ryan. Now, you have a special guest with you, Sergeant First Class, Mr. Goodlow. Let's join, let me squeeze around here in between you two, because a U.S. Army win for Ryan Newman would be cool, because it'd be honor of you guys tonight. What is it like to be at a NASCAR race and joining here for the weekend?
Oh, it's huge. It's great. This is my hometown, you know, so to be here hanging out with Ryan again. He came to see me in my office a couple months back, and now here I am in his office. So to hang out with him, and hopefully he's on the pole, so hopefully he pulls it off today. That'd be great.
Now, we saw these photos a couple months ago, Sergeant Goodlow, of Ryan at a sniper school with you. This is very scary, but you actually taught Ryan how to use this equipment, didn't you?
I gave him a little bit of instruction and just put him on his way. He did great. You know, he's a natural at it. You know, he's a hard-charging guy, and I put him behind the biggest thing we have in our inventory, and he ripped it up. He did awesome. He did really good.
How was Ryan? Or maybe I should ask, well, no, let me ask you, how was he?
He did outstanding. I mean, you know, after a little bit of initial instruction and teach him how to use the weapon system, I gave him a magazine full of ammo, 10 rounds, and he went at it, hard charging, like always. 9 out of 10 hits. Perfect.
9 out of 10. You didn't get 10 out of 10?
It was a car at 400 yards, and I couldn't see what I was shooting at most of the time. But I hit the left front wheel of a Dodge Dynasty, which was kind of ironic because I was switching from Dodge to Chevrolet, and it was pretty cool. It had a lot of fun. It was an honor to be there and get to see some of the things that they do, not in full combat, but just to see the weapons and what the Army soldiers go through.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. Good luck. Hopefully we'll get the start of this race in. Ryan Newman will have a great view, and First Class Sergeant Joseph Goodlow will definitely have a great view from Ryan's pit box. Let's head back out to that stage. It's a little wet out there, guys, isn't it?
Yeah, but the fans are still hanging in here with us, and you know what? That's going to be a wonderful way to salute the American Armed Services for our U.S. Army win tonight, and it's not out of the question. So let's go now to Rutledge Wood, who is searching for NASCAR's most colorful fan for M&Ms.
So this week for M&M's most colorful fan, our friend Right Turn Ryan found some new stuff.
Oh, Rutledge, man, you know NASCAR fans love flags, and we found Heather, who has tons of colorful flags.
All right, Heather, so you are the flag gal over here. Tell me why you love these flags so much.
Because I want to support all the drivers that are just really good guys out there in NASCAR. So I have my drivers, which are Jamie and Clint, and then my friends that are out here with me. We have all their drivers' flags, too. So
But now, I heard you forgot a couple new flags at home.
we did. We left Tony and Brian at home today. So they'll be up tomorrow. So we're going to support them tomorrow, but didn't make them today.
And you just think it's a perfect way to let everybody know Heather's here.
You can see us from the road. So it's all about seeing us and knowing that we're true NASCAR fans. So we've been here since Thursday, went to Roush Fan Day, supported the flags then, went to Petty Fan Day yesterday. It's all about NASCAR. So
Well, we are so glad you could be here. When you see the flags, come see Heather, because if there's this many up, it's probably her.
absolutely. Go Jamie.
For those of you who couldn't make it to Charlotte, make sure to register at NASCAR.com/most colorful fan for your chance to be M&M's most colorful fan of NASCAR winner. On the site, you can vote for your favorites, play the instant win game, and upload your own photos for a chance to go to the final race of the season.
No name strikes fear into the eyes of the beast like the Alabama Gang. We'll show you how Bobby, Donnie, Davey, and Neil dominated the 600 and tamed Charlotte. Coming at you, NASCAR Race Day on Speed.
We're back at Charlotte on Memorial Day weekend, and here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, the firepower is out. Speaking of firepower, Hueytown, Alabama might have been the headquarters for the famed Alabama Gang, but Bobby, Donnie, Davey Allison, and Neil Bonnet made Charlotte, North Carolina their home away from home. This gang led by example and total domination. 13 points victories, 2 All-Star wins, and 45 top fives.
Continue their battle at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. There are just a few laps left.
From 1968 till 1974, the Alabama Gang, led by NASCAR legend Bobby Allison and his younger brother Donnie, had a stranglehold in what was then Charlotte Motor Speedway like no other.
Donnie Allison in the red car, number 27. Bobby Allison in the gold car, number 22. Just as close as brothers could possibly be.
5 wins, 17 top fives, and twice finishing 1-2 as the checkered flag waved.
So it looks like a 1-2 finish for the Allison brothers. And here comes Donnie down the home stretch. Towards the finish line, and that's it. Donnie Allison has won the National 500 in Charlotte, getting a well-deserved tribute from the tremendous crowd gathered here today.
As the 70s rolled on, Neil Bonnet, fellow resident of the Yellowhammer State, would join the ranks of NASCAR's Premier Series and, in a few short years, re-establish the Alabama Gang's place atop the Charlotte leaderboard. Bobby and Neil would put together a stretch of 4 wins in a row at Charlotte's famed 600-miler from 1981 to 84.
Allison is on the low side at 22, Yarborough at 28. And they are racing closer together than most people park. Yarborough keeping Allison down low, and smoke begins to pour from his car. Lots of it. And there's the checkered flag. Bobby Allison joins Buddy Baker and David Pearson as the only 3-time winners of the World 600.
Could you have beaten KO at East Stadium?
Yeah, we had him beat when he blew up.
And then it was Davey's turn.
The Alabama Gang, they really stick together.
The son of Bobby didn't need an induction into the Alabama Gang. He was a legacy. And boy, did he ever carry that torch. In just a 3-season span starting in 1990, Davey brought home back-to-back All-Star wins, while also notching back-to-back points victories at Charlotte.
This day, this entire month of May in Charlotte, North Carolina has belonged to the Alabama gang. Davey Allison has done it, and he's done it in style.
In the 50-year history of racing at Lowe's Motor Speedway, the Alabama gang surely breathes rarefied air.
And the Alabama gang have amassed 13 wins here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Bobby Allison getting 6 of those wins here at Lowe's, 3 of them for the Coca-Cola 600 from 1971, 81, and 84. Bobby, you've seen a lot of history take place at this racetrack for the Coca-Cola 600. What does this weekend mean to you and the history that this racetrack and this race specifically has kept?
Well, it's just been a great thrill for me, the whole part of it. You know, it's been a great weekend, and the memories, this has been a special place for me for a long, long time. So it's just a great weekend.
Now, we know this is the 50th running of the Coca-Cola 600. You and I had a chance to chat earlier in the week at many events that have been taking place this week. What has this week been like for you? Because as a past champion of this race, you've had the pleasure of getting together and rubbing elbows with all the other champions of the Coca-Cola 600. It's been a busy week for you, Bobby.
Well, it has been, Wendy. You know, we've been to all kinds of events, and I've got to breeze with several of the other guys an awful lot, and I just really have enjoyed it, you know, and I've been around for myself for a long, long time. You know, I didn't come to the very first race, but I was here for the second one, and in fact, started way in the back in that one, and I guess ran the whole race but finished last, but at least I was here, you know, as a youngster, and you see the enthusiasm that the thing still generates everywhere with everybody, you know, the young people, the old people. It's such a pleasure to be with several of the other veterans and former winners and former race winners from here, and, you know, just the other competitors. It's just been a great week.
And it sure has. And Bobby Allison, in typical veteran fashion, said, oh, this rain, we've seen this plenty of times. It will pass over, and the Coca-Cola 600 will definitely get in, Kenny. But it's been a fun week seeing a lot of our past champions. I even saw Marvin Panch this week and got a chance to chat with him. Cool week here at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
You know, race fans, Bobby Allison to the Wallace family is the great one. Bobby Allison used to run a racetrack in Birmingham International Raceway, Birmingham, Alabama. Bobby would take the tires, put them in a tractor trailer, ship them up to the Wallace family. My brother Rusty would use them and try to run other races. So Bobby Allison to the Wallace family, I mean, we bow to him. He was what made my brother Rusty and us Wallaces get on track and want to go NASCAR. And I don't know if that's ever been told before. Bobby Allison is the man.
Well, I was fortunate to drive for Bobby Allison, but the biggest thing is that NASCAR was built with guys like Bobby Allison. Him and Judy gave up their 2 children in NASCAR. They were, Clifford was killed in Michigan and Davey in a helicopter wreck at Talladega. But my point is that to the new fans out there, you guys, if you ever get the opportunity to meet Bobby Allison and Judy, talk to them, true believer in God and a true believer in NASCAR, and that's what made NASCAR what it is right there. Bobby Allison, one of the guys.
Very well put, Jimmy.
Yeah, true legend, the patriarch of the Alabama gang. Pleasure to have Bobby Allison with us. We got to take another break here, and some of the umbrellas are going away. And Bobby told it. He said it. He's right here. Rain's going to go away, and we're going to go racing. Bobby said.
It's already gone.
All the best radio chatter from the Coke 600 on This Week in NASCAR on Monday. Steve Burns, Michael Waltrip, and Marcus Ambrose will break down NASCAR's longest race and listen in on Radioactive. Emotions run high in every NASCAR event, so be sure to catch This Week in NASCAR Monday at 8 Eastern only on Speed. Hermie Sadler always gets the difficult assignments here. This time last year he had to interview a 7-foot basketball player, and now, Hermie, well, we might be on the other end of the spectrum.
Well, I do. I got a special guest, Shaun Johnson, who's joining the race this weekend on behalf of Coca-Cola, and thanks for being here, first of all. But a big year for you, obviously a gold medalist in the Olympics and just recently Dancing with the Stars. Tell us how these last couple months have been for you.
They've been crazy, but they've been amazing. I mean, Dancing with the Stars was the best experience I think I ever could have asked for, and it's, you know, it was so hard and challenging, but I loved every second of it.
What's the difference between preparing for the Olympics and Dancing with the Stars? Anything similar between the two?
Besides, you know, like hours and hours on end a day, but with the Olympics, of course, it was more serious. It was for my country, it was my life, and I trained for 14 years. But dancing was for pure enjoyment and for fun, and we goofed off, had a great time, and tried to produce a show at the same time.
We just saw some footage of you riding around the racetrack with Kyle Petty doing the backflip off his car, but you may not know this, or maybe you do, that myself and some of my colleagues, we're pretty accomplished dancers too, and we'd like to get your input. If you look at the camera here, give us your input on some of our dancing ability. Watch me there doing my little spin right there with, look at that. That's Kenny Wallace on the stage. Tell me what you think.
Good.
It's windy.
You guys are good. You got some rhythm. Maybe you guys should be on Dancing with the Stars.
It's Elio Castroneves. I mean, we got it going on around here.
I like it. Good job.
Well, we appreciate you being here, and on behalf of Coca-Cola, a big weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and good to have a special guest like Shaun Johnson here at the racetrack. JR?
You know, Elio Castroneves just won the Indy 500, but you know what? Those dance routines, they're not winners at all, and Shaun was very nice not to bust on you guys for that dancing. All weekend long, the Prilosec OTC Barbecue Shootout Series has been in full swing from amateurs to professionals. The competition has been intense. The categories of chicken, ribs, pork, and brisket were voted on by the fans. Let's go to Rutledge Wood.
You know, Memorial Day is a kickoff of summer for a lot of us, and that means barbecue. But it's not about the size of your grill, it's how fast it cooks. And I bet this baby really cooks. So let's go check out what's happening at the Prilosec OTC Barbecue Shootout Series and see what's cooking with them. Come on.
I'm kind of liking the Texas Rib Rangers over here.
Really?
Yeah.
And why do you like, what stands out to you as a good barbecue out here?
How moist the meat is, and the flavor, the smoky flavor to it, wonderful. They got excellent sauces too.
Are we cooking veggies next? Now we're using our big green egg today.
We're using a big green egg today, get a little heat up in this.
And this is a smoker?
This is a smoker, it's a grill, it's an oven, it's a everything. What do you do when you open one of these? You need to burp them.
What does that mean?
Well, you want to just open it just a little bit, like that. That just lets the heat off of it.
And that's called burping a grill.
Called burping a grill.
Never knew. That's what a great grilling tip that is, burping the grill. So here are some of our cooked veggies. I'll get my uncooked mess out of here. Just right in the middle. Okay. One cut, right in the middle. Watch out, partner. They gave me a knife. Nope, these did just come off the grill. Okay. Our Dale Jr. fan, trying the grilled veggies. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of waiting and grilling. A lot of people don't know. There's a lot of...
I like watching grass grow.
How are you guys? How's the barbecue?
Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
How would you describe that barbecue?
Some of the best I ever had.
Really?
Oh yeah, this is good stuff.
I couldn't help but notice it's all gone.
Wait a minute, I'll finish it right here if I can get it. Here. Yeah, we do it that way.
It's all gone.
Oh yeah, it's all gone.
Today's barbecue event supports the Speedway Children's Charities. To learn more about these worthy causes, please visit speedwaycharities.org. Keep it right here. When we come back, a historical look back at this very historical race at Lowe's Motor Speedway, the Coke 600. Ladies and gentlemen, strap in. It's time for a 600-mile Sunday night showdown at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Memorial Day is upon us as we give thanks to our men and women in arms. Jeff Gordon looks to hold on to his points lead, and the Rocket Man, Ryan Newman, will start us out from the pole position for the 8th time at this racetrack. All will look to build on the 50-year tradition of the Coca-Cola 600, and we're ready for racing under the sunshine and the lights on NASCAR Race Day. And it is now our great pleasure to introduce Stowe, Vermont's Ken Squire. Ken, a good day to you.
Thank you, and it's great to be here. Nice to be back. Yeah.
It's always good to be seen, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it helps.
Yeah, and what a weekend we have upon us. 50 years of racing in this particular race.
Exactly, and so many great racing personalities built on this 600. Yeah, it's terrific, yeah. So anyway, you know what gets me wound up a little about this thing?
What's that?
Is that people keep misunderstanding about this heroes thing. And they continue to get upset about the fact that people talk about the sports heroes. And they say, why aren't we talking about the real heroes? And make no mistake about it. Let's be clear right from the outset that in any discussion about sports heroes, there is no comparison to those who serve and have sacrificed for this United States of America while serving in our four major groups. So sporting events are a mirror, so we're told. They're called a metaphor. And hopefully we learn something from it, a little positive stuff as we go along. And I believe that there's nothing more appropriate than the stock car crowd being involved. This sport is so unique, and yet it parallels so much of what they have to face, but not like they do face. So as we get down to it, this is sort of a token, this whole 600, for all of you in the armed services. And we're hoping that this will be an opportunity once again in this 600 to recognize the true greatness of today's unsung heroes, and you heroes wore the uniform from the past. Today we recognize our nation's true heroes with a contest that combines man and machine for a noisy, high-speed sample of life itself. It can be hard, it can be tedious, sometimes dangerous, sometimes terrifying, placing its players in harm's way. It's a sport which demands personal commitment, and it has and can demand an ultimate sacrifice. A game that makes so many other games simply appear as children's games played by adults. This motorsports game rises to its heights on its personal discipline, split-second decisions. Sometimes it favors the brazen. At other moments, the risk-takers. Always the brave. The members of this outfit can be 6'5" or 5 foot even. It can be men or women. Barriers are one's own desire and one's ability to make things happen. A rare breed, you say? Not exactly. These people about to perform hold a steady hand under a blazing heat or locked in 130-degree temperatures for hours, never losing focus nor balance while wrestling a 3,400-pound missile that can transport you to glory or destroy your finest effort in a heartbeat. Special people. They don't think so. Years ago, Richard Petty said it best. I'm just a fella who had a job and did it pretty well and was proud of being able to do it. For every Medal of Honor awarded those serving our nation, today we remember the thousands deserving of that honor, whose names we'll never know, whose efforts go unrewarded with medals or special honors. People who stay the course, who are there with their desire and hope, that in the end, they had been part of a team reaching for greater heights.
And gentlemen, the plain fact of the matter is that as we sit here today, if we did not have the freedom that our American military fighting men and women give us, we could not enjoy this race this weekend.
That's what it's all about, the common man doing uncommon deeds like Petty and 43 others out here tonight in the 600.
And quickly, NASCAR's looking at a meeting on Tuesday, and you've always spoken about the fans in this sport. If you had 15 minutes, what would you say to the NASCAR in that meeting on Tuesday?
About the fans?
About our sport right now.
Well, I think we've got to look real hard at the All-Star show the other night. That was an incredible show, those double-wide restarts. It added a whole new energy into the sport that we haven't seen for a while. We've got the names, we've got the personalities. What are we going to do with them? But today it's about the other folks.
Memorial Day weekend, what a great weekend. Helio Castroneves wins the Indy 500 after tax evasion charges what a great victory. What are your thoughts of this great accomplishment after being indicted and then let go?
Well, that's his third Indy 500, right? He's pulled that off for Penske. And the thing about it is that Indianapolis is taking his place, 100th anniversary, and it's somewhat similar to what we have here. It's a totally different beast, though, those Indianapolis cars, from what we're going to see tonight. I mean, this is still all-American, and that has a whole European flavor to it.
I agree
kinda
with
like
that.
this.
Yeah, baby.
And that's what sets this up as one of the biggest day in motorsports in the United States of America. Not only is it Memorial Day weekend, but we have two of the biggest events anywhere, the Indy 500 and the Coke 600, as we continue to salute our armed forces. Jimmy, they wouldn't let you on that thing.
NASCAR Race Day is built by the Home Depot. Visit homedepot.com. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Brought to you in part by Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free video. What will you discover? Go RVing. And by Sprint. For more NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, go to sprint.com/speed.
By virtue of picking Tony Stewart to win the All-Star race, Kenny Wallace has now got 50 bonus points, and he's opened up a huge lead over Hermie Sadler. These things are getting ugly, but remember, we will reset, and by rules, he can still pick Tony Stewart again in a points race because that doesn't count as an official win under our rules. Kenny Wallace, go.
My pick is Tony Stewart.
See, he
Hermie
can do it.
Sadler, what's yours?
And that was quick.
Wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. I'm in a meeting. I'm in a meeting.
He told me to go. He said we ain't got no time. Now we're wasting
Kurt
time.
Busch, you're my pick. We're going to victory lane, right?
Right on. Well, I like it that you're picking me as a fantasy pick, but it's cooler when the chicks pick me as a fantasy pick. But I'll work it for you.
Wendy.
Hey, I think Kurt Busch is going to be good, but of course Hermie got to pick before me. I'm going with a guy who has 3 top 5s here, has yet to win at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Rocket Man, Ryan Newman, who starts from the pole. He'll have a great view when the green flag drops, and I think Ryan Newman is going to get his win for Stewart Haas Racing and catapult me to the lead. Johnny?
Wendy, I need crowd participation for my pick. It goes like this. Stick with the biff. Stick with the biff. Stick with the biff. The biff will get it done for the American Red Cross today.
Hey, 10 of the last 11 races have been won from the top 10. This guy starts third tonight. 13 races. He's 13th or better in 9-11 races. He's the only driver with 6 top 5s. His name will be driving the, how do you say that, Kenny?
Hey, I want to tell everybody,
Black SS.
I'm going to be at Macon Speedway tomorrow night. I'll see everybody there. Justin Allgaier, Stephen Wallace.
What's the Black SS?
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon. All right, guys, let's get to recap the picks right now. We got 14 of Tony Stewart, the 2 of Kurt Busch, 39 of Ryan Newman, the Biff, and Jeff Gordon. So now let's go down to Wendy Venturini, who is patrolling the grid to give us more about this race. Wendy?
And Greg Biffle was just checking our fantasy picks, and John Roberts picking you. The last time he picked you, you went to victory lane, so maybe it's a good thing.
I hope it is. I'll tell you, the American Red Cross car is running very well. We're excited to have them on the car, especially this weekend. You know, every 2 seconds somebody in America needs blood, and it's something that we overlook sometimes. But I think we got a great race car. I'm really excited. Hopefully it stays dry, and we can get this race going.
All right, good luck to Greg Biffle. Johnny, it's going to be one heck of a racing night. Let's check in with Hermie Sadler.
Wendy, just standing on pit road. Crews are starting to get to work to dry their pit boxes. We're going racing in the Coca-Cola 600.
Hermie, that sounds really good to us. We look off in the distance, we see some blue skies, and we want to see some racing on the track. We want to say thanks once again to the American men and women who preserve our freedom in the armed services. Thanks to everybody who joined us today on this special Coke 600 edition of NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot, and we'll see you in Victory Lane.